Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to MJ Live. The new year is here, and welcome to the show. We are going to have a fantastic show for the first episode of the new year with a special guest who is already here and waiting to get started. But before we do, let us go ahead and share the post, share it to your friends, put it on your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your Instagram, wherever it is you are, share it so we have some really, really good information to share today. Welcome to baby girl Marsha. Thank you for being here nice and early. And welcome to Nushelle Hastings. Happy New Year to you as well. Definitely, we're going to be having her next week, I believe. So stay tuned, guys. We have some really, really great interviews and guests lined up for 2023. So definitely get yourself ready. All right, so get yourself a cup of tea, get yourself comfortable, and share as we listen to a little bit of music. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me clearly on the mic first of all, and also let me know if you can hear the music as we start to play it. All right, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're listening, let me know if you're hearing an echo on the music. Before the billions, welcome. Welcome to the show. Can you hear anything, guys? Before the billions, welcome. Welcome to the show. Can you hear anything, guys? Before the billions, welcome. We're back in the studio. Okay, and our guest is still there. Cool, cool. I'll see you there. All right, let's try this again. Let's try the music one more time because we need to share it out. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay, good, good. All right, let's go ahead and get the music going one more time. We need to have some music when we're doing this thing. Happy New Year, guys. Hopefully, StreamYard hasn't changed anything to make it weird. So let's just go again and play the music. And if you're in the chat, let me know if you can hear the music. Luchelle, are you there? Before the billions, are you there? Let me know if you can hear the music playing. Welcome, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jillian. Welcome to the show. Tell a friend. We're going to post it onto Facebook. Let them know that we're starting right now. I've already shared it to WhatsApp. Emily Paris, hey. 13 and 15, perfect. Looking forward to that. How you guys feeling today? Alright, we're going to start in about 1 more minute. Come on in, guys, come on in. One more share on Instagram. Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Nushelle. Welcome before the billions. Happy New Year. And Jillian Harper, welcome to the show. We are going to be talking with Peter Gracey very shortly. Okay. Perfect. All right, welcome to MJ Live. It's the new year, 2023 is here, and I know that we all have some resolutions. We all want to do things better for 2023. And the new season of the Millissa Jayne Show, we're going to be talking with interesting people that I've been dying to speak to, but I've been having other shows and other series going on. So I decided to wait until the new year. The first quarter, we're going to be talking to interesting people. And the first person on the list is Mr. Peter Gracey. So let me bring him up in a little bit. Welcome, Yvette Jackson. Are you still in the UK? Are you still visiting in the UK? Before we get into the interview, let me just share a couple of things before we dive right in. But we do have Mr. Peter Gracey, who's going to be joining us today. He's the first guest of 2023. And then this is going to be the new season, all about interesting guests. And it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Thursdays might change to 7 p.m. so that I can actually do something later. But for the most part, it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Might change to 7 on a Thursday. Next week on on this week, in 2 days' time, Thursday, January the 5th, we have Tues Jan. Tues Jan, who is also a author and a recording artist, but we're going to be focusing on her author, or herself as an author, because we've talked to with her about her music for many, many times. All right, and then we'll come to the other things later on. All right, guys, I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Welcome to Yvette. Oh, she's back. And welcome to Verna Donaldson. Great to have you, Verna. And also Marva Riley. Marva Riley is also going to be on the show coming up in a couple of weeks as well. So we have a really, really good lineup happening over the next couple of weeks. And I'm excited. All right. Let me go ahead and pull up some notes that I have, and then we're going to get right into it. So just drop it in the chats there. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling excited for the new year? Have you made New Year resolutions? Are you feeling good? Let me know. Let me know how you're feeling, because this is actually a group kind of chat. Everybody's welcome to get to participate, so feel free to do that. Okay. So, without any further ado, let's bring up our guest. Welcome, welcome, Peter Gracey. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Melissa? Thanks for having me.
I am doing great, and it's good to have you. You're the first person for 2023. How do you feel, man?
Amazing.
That's really, really good. You know, when I put the word out, actually, you were the first person that I sent the invitation to, and you took advantage of the first week available. So, kudos to you, bruh.
Thanks a lot, man. I've called upon you many times and you responded. And as soon as I saw your request, there's absolutely no way I could have rejected that.
All right, welcome, welcome, man, and welcome to everybody. Welcome to Marva. Welcome the amazing M and G's here. Happy New Year to you and yours, my dear friend. Good vibes, absolutely. And Marva's going to be on. She says big goals for 2023. She's an author. She's just authored a new book. I think this is like the third or fourth book, and we're going to talk to her soon. Happy New Year to everybody. All right, so we have quite a lot to talk about. You know, to me, you're a very interesting person, and I've said this for a few years to myself that I need to have you up because you're so I would say eclectic in who you are. You have a lot of different talents, I think, and we're going to share with those. We're going to share everybody with your talents today. Welcome, Michelle. She's also going to be a guest on next week's show. All right, so could you just give us a little bit of background, first of all, on who is Peter Gracey?
That's that's a very interesting question because sometimes I try to question and ask the same question to myself because um, as far as I knew myself growing up, it's not the same person that I know myself now.
Mm,
And I've realized that when I got this thing in my head where I've realized that you never met the same person twice,
mm,
you know?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So so I'm just an evolving guy, who raised up out of the ghettos of Jamaica. I was born in this place called Waterhouse.
Mm.
And I went to Balcom Drive all age in Waterhouse. As a matter of fact, I was born in the house, not literally in the house of Waterhouse, but in a house in Waterhouse.
Okay,
And
okay.
the school was like, if I opened my gate, I could touch the school gate,
Oh,
you know?
that was close.
Yeah. So humbly, grew
Yeah.
up there and then went to a high school called Jamaica College.
Okay.
And did my best there. Migrated to the U.S., did a few things here and there. I was involved in Jamaica. I was involved in music. I used to be actually a DJ. I used to be a selector on
Oh,
a sound system called Techniques.
okay.
We were a
Wow.
really big sound system, and I was the DJ on it. Me and another guy, Noel, and so we did some traveling in the sound system business, and also found myself signed to a label in Jamaica called New Name Music, which
Okay.
had likes of Maxi Priest and Tyrone Taylor and those people,
Yeah.
And so, I've dove in the music business and still involved somewhat, not as much.
Mm-hmm.
But then I find myself in the technology areas also, the IT areas,
Mm-hmm.
and I found myself dabbling into a lot of things like religions and movements and all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the military.
Mm.
I did my reserve time in the United States Navy Reserves.
Mm-hmm.
I was an air traffic controller,
Mm.
and
Wow.
got in the radio business. Started a few pirate stations back in the days.
You did a lot of stuff, man. It's really
Yeah,
interesting.
but the thing is, I'm interested in everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when someone says, "What's your bio?" it's really not for me. It's nothing
Mm.
because I am here for one purpose, and it's to experience this life.
Wow.
You know. So
Yeah.
while I'm experienced, I want to try as many things I can do, but stay balanced and focused, knowing that we still have the ambiances of life as far as the purposes and the goals we create on ourselves. And we have to meet those capacities in order to eat and sleep well and buy nice things. And, you know, so
Right.
there's always a balance of what's out there and what's here,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
you know. So
Beautiful.
my bio is simple.
Okay.
I'm just a person who like to experience life and
Yeah.
do it as best as possible while not violating the rights of others, and just get involved in all kind of things and master it and move on. You know,
Okay.
I'm not interested to stay in one position.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to know things. I want to experience this
Uh-huh.
fully as a human being. So I do what I'm supposed to do the best of it, set it up on the resume, and I move on.
Excellent. I like that. I like that answer. You just want to experience everything. And I'm a little bit like that myself. There's not just one thing that I do. I like to just do a lot of things and try different things and try things in a different way. So I like that answer. Let me just give a few more people a little bit of a welcome here. People Profile is here. So I guess that's Dr. C. Welcome, Dr. C, I believe. And welcome to Baby Girl Marsha. Do you know who Baby Girl Marsha is? That might be a first time guest of mine. Do you know or no?
I know baby girl Marsha.
Okay, so I'm
As
glad
a
that you.
matter of fact, I think her daughter is the little girl who won the This Is Jamaica poetry
Oh, awesome.
competition. Marshani Morgan.
Okay, we're gonna
Marion
talk.
Morgan. Sorry,
We're
Marion
gonna
Morgan.
talk about that
Yeah,
in a little bit. So
no problem.
everybody, keep on inviting your friends. We're still early. We're just getting the introductions out of the way. So tell your friends. We want to get as many people as we can in here tonight as the first guest of 2023. Welcome to Carla Roundtree. Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome to Debt Free Dad. Debt Free Dad has crushed it this for the last year. He's erased about, if I'm not mistaken, just drop it in here, Debt Free Dad. It might be 60,000. It might be more than that. That is crushed. That is eliminated over the last year. He's determined to completely erase all of his student debt. So he's doing really really well. So congratulations, Debt Free Dad. I saw you post something recently. Welcome to Edward Smart. Welcome to you, sir. Happy New Year to you as well. And yes, baby girl, Marsha is giving you the thumbs up there, Peter Gracey. All right. So we have a lot of topics to go through, and I'm determined to go through all of them today, even if we just touch them, because there's some of them are kind of deep, some of them are fun, and some of them are just interesting. All right. So you mentioned poetry, that you're a poet. Can you tell us when did you start? When did you start writing poems?
Well, I started writing poems since I was in school. Since actually I was in uh, all age school in Jamaica, Balcom Drive All Age. I fell in love with poetry when I there was this poem that I was in the fifth grade. I remember. I can't remember it, but it goes something like the splendor falls on castle walls and snowy summit old in story. The long light shakes across the lakes and the wild cataract leaps in glory. Blow bugle. And I'm like, wow, interesting. And so I started writing.
Uh huh.
And I knew that that's something that I would always do, even though a lot of things come in the way and you block it out and you go off somewhere. This has never left.
Wow.
So now that I've gotten to the age where, I'm starting to settle down a little bit more. I'm just using this opportunity to share it with people.
Right. Now you've been sharing it with people in a pretty big way. Can you tell us about your, well, tell us about the evolution of you starting with that poetry back when you was in school and how it's evolved into what you're doing now.
Well, the thing is, what I can remember when I was in school is that we used to go out in the right in the schoolyard every Monday morning, and we used to say these things. All kind of different things. Depends on the school you go to. We used to do the pledge. We used to sing a song or two and things like that. And these things we can never forget growing up. Also, I remember I was in a youth club, this youth club called the Marion Youth Club, and we used to go on ring ding with Miss Lou. We used to go over to the JBC studios and watch ring ding, and we'll ask Miss Lou questions, and you know, and
Let
we would
me let me
go
just
ahead.
interrupt you there. For those who are not of Jamaican heritage, can you explain what ring ding is and who Miss Lou is?
Miss Louise Bennett,
Uh
Miss
huh.
Louise Bennett Coverly. Miss Louise Bennett is she is the what you would call the truest Jamaican who ever came out of Jamaica, because she took that language, that patois, and she took it to places where a lot of people were afraid to go and speak that language.
Uh huh.
And so it became, I would say, she's a pioneer
Yeah.
of bringing our language to the forefront. She was a very creative person, um, and she had a show on JBC called Ring Ding,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Hmm.
and she would involve a lot of children and get the children involved, and she would do these songs, and these songs stick in your head. Carry
Mm.
me, I could go a Linstead Market, those songs like that. That was Miss Lou. That was
Oh.
Miss Lou doing these things.
Okay.
The even Bob Marley quoted her in songs.
Yeah.
So she was a very she was an inspiration to the kids of Jamaica, and she did that through the creative arts.
Uh huh.
Now the thing is, I found myself in a similar position.
Okay.
Now I don't have to go to a JBC studio. We can do it right here online. Technology has, you
Right.
know,
Right.
giving us the opportunity to shine, to
Uh
come
huh.
to the forefront, to present opportunities. And I see an opportunity where I can take it and do the same thing. But this time it's kind of it's more personal to me now, because there are things that are going on in Jamaica that are not too favorable,
Hmm.
like crime and things like this. And I saw and I felt that there's a way that I could use that same poetry and creative arts, also including the knowledge that I've gained over the years,
Hmm.
to use it as a tool to to have the children of Jamaica restore and preserve the culture of Jamaica through poetry and the creative arts. And so this way, if we start touching them right now, what's going to happen is it's going to be hard for someone to touch them and say, "Hey, carry this gun for me."
Mm. Wow.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we're trying to make sure that we give them something of substance, so
Hmm.
somebody don't give them a gun or
Mm.
try to influence them. Miss Lou did that for me.
Hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's you cannot forget where you're coming from, or else
So
you'll never know where you're going.
right.
So because I know Miss Lou did that for me, and not only her, but quite a few people in the communities, but she was a major influence. I can now do the same thing without having JBC studio. I can come right on the Millissa Jayne Show. I can go on, create my own show. Everyone has the opportunity right now to create their own show and do good things with it. You know?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that you're turning the you're turning how you're taking how you experienced the poetry from way back when you started it, and you're using it for good in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit before I ask you this question. I want you to share how you how you did that in a practical way. So about the poetry contest and all of that. But before we do, I know that people are excited and waiting to hear some of your poetry. And somebody even said in the Debt Free Dad said, spit a freestyle, sir. But before we do a freestyle, I'm going to play one of your videos from YouTube on Jamaicans.com. And let's just also welcome, She Stole My Thunder. Welcome to you, my dear. Happy New Year to you as well. And welcome to Kim Yamaguchi. Happy to have you with us. And, you know, I'm sure, do you know Kim, Peter?
She probably is. She probably is on my page somewhere.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
personally, though. I don't. She looks. The picture looks familiar, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So she's in our community right here. I'm sure you know her, especially in the music industry. So
Yeah.
you're getting some love there from Nushel as well. All right, let's go ahead and play one of the. I want to play your latest Vapor and Mist, or should we play the greatest poetic affirmation? Or This Is Jamaica. Let's go ahead and play This Is Jamaica, because I think this is a famous poem here, right?
Yeah, This Is Jamaica. As a matter of fact, This Is Jamaica. Vapor and Mist is just the first poem I did on this year so far. I'm doing 52 weeks of poetry to do one each week, and that's just the first one. The most popular one right now, as far as the culture of Jamaica, is This Is Jamaica. That's very popular in Jamaica. It's people are just doing it on their own. The affirmation on a different level, that's just going crazy. This one lady, Joan Edgel, she just did it, and so far she has like almost 9,000 views.
Oh wow.
Things like that. So they're just as big. You make your choice. You do what you have to do.
I want to find that This Is Jamaica, the short one that was giving me the contest. Okay, instead of that, we're gonna go ahead and play the Joan Edgehill. This is another 1 minute. This is a 1 minute video, so we can play this one. All right, let's go ahead and pull this up on the screen. Before I do that, again, welcome everybody. No, that's my daughter's pick. And Happy New Year to Titi Man Morgan. Good to have you all. Keep on sharing, guys. We're just getting into our first poem by Mr. Peter Gracey. The greatest poetic affirmation. Let's go ahead and pull this up on screen. Share this audio. Add this to the screen. All right, we're going to go ahead and play this. Listen clearly, everybody, and just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear this okay.
The Strength to Breathe by Peter Gracey. The greatness in me is yet to come, as long as I have the strength to breathe. To know myself and to know my worth is to know my God indeed. There's no such thing as I can't. There's no such thing as fear. Only false evidence appearing real, and the ones who do not care. I will lean not on my own understanding, and find what my purpose serves, and trust in God and not in man, while I experience my time on earth. I am balanced and I am focused. I was born to first follow, then lead. I will only love and never judge, as long as I have the strength to breathe.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Give us some thumbs up, guys. Give us some thumbs up in the chats if you enjoyed that piece. So tell us about. There's so much to talk about. Let's talk about the poetry contest in Jamaica.
The poetry contest in Jamaica. It's called This Is Jamaica. Poetry competition. and it goes through the school system, through the Jamaica Teachers Association, and it goes in every classroom in Jamaica. So every child between the age of 6 and 17 has an opportunity to enter this competition. And what the competition is, they have to take that poem, This is Jamaica, and they have to do a video rendition and become their own producers, their own directors, and their own editors. This is where we're going in life. We're going, we're following technology,
Yes.
right? I don't need them to write an essay. No, we need them to get them involved in what's going on. And the best way to do it is actually to get them involved in the characteristics of the path that we're going in, which is the technology. So they became their own digital creator, their own content creator, their own producer, their own director, and things like that. And at the same time, they become their own poets, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? They may do something and it actually goes off well and they get an opportunity. Now, each child, first, second, and third place, which we're making a decision if we should add the second and third place. The winners actually become ambassadors of This is Jamaica.
Oh.
And so what we're going to do throughout the year is put them on different programs and
Okay.
introduce them on a bigger platform to show them that we can do this. Now, when their schools see these things are happening, we would start the what do you call it? The avalanche, the snowball.
Uh-huh.
And so we're able to gather more children to get involved. This is how we're going to start creating a community of, what do you call it, of creative
Creative
children.
minds. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so now when the children they enter the scholarships, they submit their videos, and we have an a voting committee. Now, out of the first round, we select the top 10. And when we just started the first year, we had 249 applications.
Wow.
We had like 79 videos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This year was a little bit less because of COVID.
Uh-huh.
So when we take the top 10, then we announce who the top 10 are, and they have to do another video,
Mm.
the same poem,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then once they do that, then we narrow it down to the top 3. And this year we gave away scholarships. The first place winner, which
Mm.
was Marion Morgan, received $1,000.
Oh.
The second place winner, which is Marion Morgan, is 9. The second place winner is 14-year-old Ramona McLean, and the third place winner is 8-year-old Annalene. And
Wow.
and they are in the one is in St. Catherine, the next one is in St. Elizabeth, and the next one is in Kingston. Just to show you how
All
that,
over Jamaica.
yes, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it's so when they whenever we select the top 3, they become ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the year, we're gonna have them on different programs,
Okay.
so we can showcase them. So that is the poetry competition on a whole. We also go out look for a title sponsor. This year, title sponsor was Education Solutions International, Dr. Dwayne and Mrs. Dice, and they sponsored it this year, and they were very, very, very happy. And we also have our own radio program in Jamaica, with Dervin Malcolm on his shows, both sides of the story. And so we also showcase the kids on his shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's because I've noticed that
Mhm.
um, it seems to be a regular thing. Is it every week, or is it what's the schedule as far as having This is Jamaica on Dervin Malcolm's show?
Well, we do it right now. We have only done it through the This is Jamaica, the competition season.
Oh,
It
okay.
begins in September
Uh-huh.
and it ends in December.
Oh, okay.
Let me share a secret with you. The reason why I chose September
Uh-huh.
was because that's the month of Miss Lou's birthday.
Oh, so you've put some thought into this. Obviously.
Yeah.
Let me share a thought from blind guy, his wife. Welcome to Laquita and Corey. Hey there. This competition sounds like it really grows the competitors' experience and talents. So we thank you for that. A bit of healthy competition helps everybody 2023 and beyond, for sure. Let me go ahead and play the winner, Marion Morgan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you said that she's 9 years old.
Yeah. Make sure you may see the first one she did, and then there's the finals with. So you have to be careful.
Okay.
But
Let me show you. Let me show you. Is this
Mhm.
is this the final? This one here?
No, that's not the,
That's not the final. Okay, let me go ahead and find the final. Let's
that
get
was that was last.
Okay, let's see. The one, it's probably 2 weeks ago that you did it, so this is probably it here. Is this the one here? Does that look familiar?
I think that year when she was.
Winner of the Peter Gracey, This is Jamaica. It was uploaded 2 weeks ago and it's 45 seconds long.
No, I think it was just.
I'm sorry?
I think she was just.
Oh, we're getting the audio cutting out here for some reason. Let's
You're gonna find.
sorry?
You're gonna find the children.
Yeah, there's a lot of children. Let me put her name in actually. And it's Marianne Morgan. Marianne Morgan. Marianne Morgan. Let's see if that helps. All right, we have one 2 months ago.
That's
Okay. I think I've actually played this before too. All right, let's go ahead.
no, that's.
This is Jamaica by Peter.
What'd you say?
That's her first entrant.
This is the first entry. Do we want to play this one or we want to keep looking?
You can play it. Fine.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this one.
Gracey. This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear. I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing onto the shore, where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica.
We're going to pause that for a second and remove it and add it back to the stream because I'm hearing that there's an echo in there. We don't want to do that. We're going to play that from the beginning just to make sure that we get this correct. All right. Let's do this. Share the audio. Let's try this again.
This is Jamaica by Peter Gracey. This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear. I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing onto the shore, where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe, a heartbeat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I died away from my island, I pray to God, you take me home.
Wow, that is it done. I love that. This is the Education Solutions International. I guess they were the sponsors you mentioned, right?
No,
Empowering school
yes,
leaders and
I was just,
learners.
I'm hearing it, you know.
You're hearing an echo?
Yes.
Okay. Let's remove this again. All right. How are we sounding now?
Sounds better.
Okay, perfect. So that was an excellent piece of work there, and I can see so much potential in these young people when I watch these videos, because it's like they're creative. Oops, the next one's playing. Hold on. It's like their creativity is just being triggered. They're so animated and they're so full of joy and life. And where do you see this leading for these young children?
I don't see it leading anywhere, I just see it is.
Uh-huh.
You can open the door, but people have to do work. This is not leading anywhere.
Okay.
This is wherever their future is for them. This is a part of it.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I want to make sure that all of us, as this whole thing of living is a puzzle, and everyone in each other's presence have a piece of that puzzle to help them to probably get where they need to go. And I know what my little piece is, my little section. I just put it there.
And whatever happens with it, it happens.
Right, but as long as we're doing it without tactic,
right,
and we're doing it without any form of wanting anything back.
Oh, got you.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's not to lead them somewhere.
Uh-huh.
It's to help them get somewhere.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's just growing, then yes. Well, I see a lot of good things happening for them. After people see what's happening with what you started, who knows what the possibilities are? The possibilities are endless. Okay. And you said that there's a what's the word? Philanthropic arm to this. So there's scholarships involved. Just talk a little bit more about that scholarship portion.
As far as This is Jamaica?
Yeah, about this program. You said that the winner won a scholarship. Is that right?
Well, the monies we give them is a scholarship towards their education.
Okay, good.
And
good.
so what we do, we actually give them the cash.
Mm-hmm.
We don't put it through the schools as the traditional way.
Uh-huh.
Because what we found is that because we're open to all schools,
mm-hmm.
some schools don't have a bursary. And so there's really no one to give them the money to,
Mm-hmm.
And even in some schools that has bursaries, sometimes there may be a need where the child needs the money right now, and there's probably policies of a waiting period and things like that. So we just wanted to make sure that they sign an attestation saying this is what they will use it for.
Okay.
And then our ambassador, Sophia Nicholson, she goes to Jamaica and issue out the scholarships.
Okay. All right. That's beautiful. All right. So we talked a little bit about the scholarship portion. Let's get back into my list here. We have a lot to talk about today. How you doing so far?
I'm
Want to
good.
welcome everybody in the chat room. Good to have you. Just still tell a friend we are here. Now, you have written a few books, and could you just share with us a little bit about the books that you've written?
Yeah, well, I've written quite a few books. Most of them are really short. And I find myself writing very short books because they're for quick reads and just to write something as it is. So anyone who reads it, even a child, can understand it. You know, there's a lot of experiment I did in the beginning, and some of those books I will not recommend you buy it.
Just keeping it real.
Yes, you know. but um, but there are a few that is pretty decent, you know. And I have one here. This is a poetry book. It's called Citizen of a Hypomanic Mind.
Hmm.
Um, and that one was released a few years ago. And I just released one online called The Strength to Breathe. So what I've seen though is when I said to you I would not recommend anyone buy it is because I've recognized a progression of evolution. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
And I've recognized that the writing is becoming more and more in depth and more serious. And it becomes more fitting with everything I'm doing, the scholarships
Uh
and
huh.
things
Uh
like
huh.
that, you know?
All right.
Because what I've noticed is the more you write, the more you write is the more when you actually truly write on certain things, that thing sometimes can become you. You know, when they say like an actress or an actor, they would do this, like Superman, he always thinks he's Superman
Uh
in
huh. Uh huh.
normal life. Yeah,
Right.
and you can't get out of that, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful of what we write because it's the same thing. So what I've found is that certain things I just stop messing with
Uh
and
huh.
just write on a aboriginal human level.
Okay. Now you mentioned that your latest book is The Strength to Breathe. Is that correct?
Yes,
So I'm just going to just pull that up for a quick second. It's here on Amazon.
right. That one, that's the Kindle.
That's
The physical book will be out in I think 2 days.
okay, 2 days. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the Strength to Breathe. Can you just explain a little bit about what this is? This book is about.
Well, the strength to breathe. Well, everyone that's probably listening to this probably already knows this because they heard John recited it as an affirmation. Um, what it is the way this book is written. It's written more from a anthropological level. It's written from somewhat of an inward level because there are certain things we may talk about later or whatever something, but the book itself comes from a place of inwardness
Okay.
because I don't pay attention to anything I can see outside or outside of me. I don't even see that as real
Wow.
because everything that we do in this life computes from inside.
Yeah.
You know, if you're cooking and you smell the food, it has to compute
Right.
from inside to smell it, to know
Yeah.
what you're smelling.
Uh huh.
You know, if you have to see something, it has to compute from inside so you can see it. If you anything, all the senses that you gather, it actually computes inside. So everything happens inside, you know. So once I know I can focus on the inside, nothing outside matters.
Okay.
So these set of poems are flowing from the self, not the self, because I don't want to confuse that with the ego. I mean, it's coming from the place where you realize that you're experiencing life.
Right.
And the thing is, sometimes you may meet a person and you tap into their vibe a little bit, and then something just comes in your head and you just write. Because I can't just get up and write anymore, you know? Something has to come to me to write. And when I get these vibes, I just start writing. And this is what it turns out to be, the strength to breathe. Because just the title by itself, a lot of people are walking around and they don't even know that they're breathing, you know? But
Yeah.
where does that strength come from? Just to even,
Uh-huh.
where does that strength come from? No one is thinking about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think about that, really think about them living when they're in danger. They don't go around thinking every day that they're living, you know? So these poems comes from my experience of life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from a inner place. And so these are the type of writings that I find myself, and they're very short.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the longest poem in it is a poem that I took from my recent, the book that predates that, and put in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to show you that I was trying to find something a little longer just to put in it, you know, and it's called I Am, which is a
Okay.
very popular poem. But, but it comes from a place where not even myself really understand it. There's nothing to understand. It's really simple. It's just a
Uh-huh.
simple thing that we just
Okay.
do, and you just make use of it.
Interesting. Very interesting. So I dropped the link, guys. If you want to go check out the strength to breathe, the greatness in me is yet to come. Check that link out. The hard copy comes out in a couple of days, but you can get the Kindle right now. Um, there's another book you told me about, which is, I think this is probably the one you said not to bother to check out.
Which one?
Citizen of a him.
Hypomanic. No, no, that's cool. That book is
Oh, this
cool.
one's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and pull this one up as well, and you can just give us a quick synopsis on this one real quick as well. Um, Again, guys, check out. Hit the like button if you haven't already hit the like. I think, what was it? Who said it? Who said it earlier? Baby girl Marsha said, like up, like up the live, guys. Right? Yeah, like it up, man. Like it up. I love the way you put that. um, let's check this one out. Citizen of a hypomanic mind. What's this about? Peter Gracey. What's this about?
Citizen of a hypo. What about? What do you want to know about it?
What is this book about?
Um, that book, I was actually going through it's like I found myself going through a period, and it was just an expression of that period where it was like during that time, it was a time when I was making decisions, you know, and it was just crazy how everything was coming. Because what happened is that was a time where I really, truly, truly, truly understood who I was.
Oh yeah.
You know, certain things were just coming boom, 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 boom. And I just kept taking them, and start just pushing away, pushing away. But through all those pushing aways, I've written something that corresponded with it. You know, and so it was a crazy time going on upstairs there. You know, the cranium was just going.
Okay.
It got to a point where I found myself going to the doctor.
Oh. Was how long ago did this happen?
When did the book come out? This book came out 2019. But the thing is, everything was going on prior,
Okay.
but this was like the deciding, this was like it. You know, like when you've had, like, you hear people say they have heart attacks and heart attacks and heart attacks, but this one was the big one.
Oh,
You know,
right.
this one was it. Just say, listen, this is when you just, once you finish, put out, just put this out. And once you put it out, it's done.
And
You,
did you feel a release after you put this book out?
no,
Okay.
no, because it felt like I developed a habit
Uh-huh.
and it was hard to let it go.
Oh, okay. So it took you a while to sort of come down from the experience of putting this book out. Is that safe to say?
Yes, and I've done quite a few things. During that time, this is when I did This is Jamaica. I had to get it going. This is when I was just doing all kind of stuff.
You was pushing
Um,
yourself.
and I was just finding the pieces, just those pieces, and then push away everything else. You know, I've made a lot of decisions that weren't kosher,
Okay.
but what I come to realize is everyone is here for one reason on this earth, and it's to satisfy themselves. You
That's
know,
what you realize, that everybody's
everyone,
here to
right?
satisfy themselves. Yeah.
Everyone is here to satisfy themselves. And so what I've realized is I had to make that decision to don't care and think about what anybody think and say about me, because it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It has to do with them having that mindset to think about a certain way about a person. You know,
Right.
where do they get that from? You know, so I realized I have to start ignoring everything that everyone ever thought about me
Right.
and just move on. You know, and then when the smoke clears, I'll just come back out and find the people that I probably pissed off when I wasn't supposed to, and say, "Hey, I'm here again." You know.
So what I'm from what I'm hearing is that even though you're sort of going in and you're finding out what satisfies you, within that, you're still able to satisfy other people because of some of the realizations that you're getting. Because something like um, This is Jamaica, that's not only satisfying you, that's also satisfying the people that are benefiting from it, right?
Well,
So it's like working in tandem. Even though it's satisfying you, the fact that you're satisfying other people is also satisfying you. So it comes back and forward.
well, it only goes one way. You know, it's really not back and forth. And the thing is, sometimes we find ourselves with this opposite thinking. Whenever you go in an airplane and you take a child with you, they're gonna tell you to buckle yourself up first
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
before you buckle that child up.
Mm,
That precious child, you don't want to make sure they're secured first, right?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they say no, you have to be secure in order to secure someone else.
Mm.
So I am here to satisfy myself, and then around me, everyone will feel satisfied, because the vibe that I'm going to push off
Right.
is going to make sure it fits. You understand? Now,
Yeah.
the satisfaction is not one that you go out and you satisfy yourself or buy things and buy it. That has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
What my satisfaction is really is realizing that I have to take out of my head that there's no such thing as a good or a bad day, or a good life and a bad life.
Uh-huh.
Life is life. You know, only when you're not satisfied during the day, you say you have a bad day.
Right. Right.
There's no such thing as a bad day. It's just you not satisfied.
Uh-huh.
And so your day go longer. You know, they say bad people live longer and good people, you know.
Cycle. Yeah.
That's because you have something going on with this complex machine that we have, this body, this thing. We don't know how to manage it, but we're managing everyone else's. We have to look at ourselves first.
Yeah.
The way we communicate, the way we, um, find ourselves around people, what we eat, things like this. You know, because I've realized that there's a lot of people who find themselves in a nice job,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, this is my purpose.
Mm.
And then what they do, they sit at that job for 18 and 20 years and ignore themselves. And now when they find themselves with certain ailments and sickness and all the time, now they start reaching out to go to the doctor and start praying and doing all kind of stuff. No, you take care of yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then everyone else will feel satisfied because you yourself can produce. You yourself can give someone
Yeah.
that energy that you've, the vibe, the good vibe. It's not a satisfaction to feed my ego. It has nothing to do with that. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe how I interpreted it was not quite right, but I think I know what you mean, because sometimes when you've satisfied yourself and you have such you have such radiance and you have such joy, you
Yes.
know everybody else just benefits, because they're just like, sometimes you might just be feeling so great within yourself. You walk out, you're feeling good, you look good, you're smiling, and somebody will come up to you and say, "Oh, hey," or they feel so happy because they've seen you. You haven't done anything else
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
except for just radiate your joy, and that can make somebody feel happy. So
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Everyone
Um,
everyone has to be on the same. The thing about it is, if you really want to understand it, um, you have to remove everything that you've known. You have to get down to the self.
mm,
You have to stop making up things. You have to stop listening to things and focus on yourself. I get up and go in the mirror every morning and I said to myself, bro, we're here again. I don't know if we're gonna see each other again, but if we don't see each other tomorrow, it's been a great run. Every morning I do that
wow.
because it is so simple, this life.
Yeah.
All we have to do is acknowledge that this is it. And so with it, I try to do my best every day
Yeah.
to make sure that I push off the right vibes,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of people feel it all the time, but they don't want to acknowledge it. Because you can walk in a place and somebody walk by you and you just feel different. You're like, yo, man, I vibe with that person. There's something
It's
there
true.
not right.
It's true.
It's simply not.
It's
It's
true.
a simple thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Let me just give you some feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Blind guy. This is Laquita. She says, "Mutually beneficial is what it seems to be." And Edward Smart also says, "I agree." Sounds like another doctrine, says Tina Azal. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. We're gonna get to something like that in a little bit. But I like what I'm hearing so far. I like some of these things. It's kind of just rethinking things. And I like the way how you say you talk to yourself in the mirror and you say, uh, you know, here we are again. It's another day, guy. You're talking to yourself, and it's kind of like a bit of an affirmation as well, in a way, because you're you know you're greeting yourself. You're going to greet yourself in a decent way. You're not going to say, all right, I wake up this morning, look into the mirror. You're not going to say, well, all right, this day sucks. It's going to be horrible. You're not going to say anything like that. You're going to say something that's positive and affirming. Let me just see what Blind Guy says. Radiating positive vibes is powerful, and talented people tend to do it without effort. Yes, yes, indeed. Um, yes, that's true, Mr. Gracey, says baby girl Marsha. All right, let's go into something else now. That was the first two books. Was there another book that I needed to look at? Do you want to look at this last one, which might be a little bit of a controversial title? Let's do it. Let's do it, guys.
Yeah.
Before I do, guys, go ahead and share out the post one more time. We're just coming to the first hour, and we have a lot more to do. We're gonna go for another hour, so get ready, get yourself comfortable, get yourself a cup of tea if you need, get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. We're gonna go one more hour with Peter Gracey. All right, guys. So before we do, and we're going to talk about this book that's coming up, and we're going to talk about something that is a lot more controversial as well. So we're here for it, guys. We're here for it. That's what it's all about. Opening our eyes and just getting into conversations that are not average. This is the Millissa Jayne Show, guys. If you're tuning in for the first time, don't let this be your last. Please hit the like button, share it. We are here to have a conversation, get to know some people who we may not know, who are doing great things in the community, and who personally I've just found interesting. All right, let's just check here to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Let's see. Also, I also want to tell you about a couple of things that I have going on. So this is the new season of the Millissa Jayne Show, and I'm going to just cover you over for a little bit, Peter Gracey, so don't mind me here. So we have, the show is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. I might go 7 p.m. on a Thursday just so that we can accommodate some things that I want to do later in the night on a Thursday evening, like karaoke. All right, so this is the show schedule for the next quarter. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. And you can also find me on Facebook, but YouTube is the primary place. If you haven't subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe so that you won't miss a notification when it comes out. On Thursday coming up, we have Toyin Adekali. She's a recording artist primarily, but she's also an author. And we're going to talk about her life as an author. She's just written a book, and the topic is something that you guys will definitely find interesting. So do come back on Thursday at 7 p.m. On Thursdays at 7 p.m. for that show. And I just also want you to know that there are people out there that may need some help with digital marketing. I also am able to help you with that. Graphic design, Facebook marketing, Instagram for business, video marketing, YouTube marketing, and website creation. If you guys need any help in these areas and you can't find any help on YouTube or Google, then I certainly can help you. I have courses, I have classes that I can put on, and you can be a part of that if you're interested, all right? Shameless plug there. And also the previous series that I've just completed, it's not complete, the previous topic that we were focusing on the last 2 quarters of the year was retire ready research. The topics included budgeting, net worth, ditching your debt, your living will, putting that in place, a revocable trust, putting that in place, knowing how to start drawing your retirement funds, your 401k, and so forth, and also Social Security. So we're halfway through, I would say we're about halfway through this series, and we have videos on all these topics. If you want to get access to that, the archives are on YouTube at the same name, Millissa Jayne. Okay, there's a whole playlist full of stuff for there. All right, let's bring back Mr. Peter Gracey. We're enjoying this conversation with him. Give me a number 2 in the chat if you're still with us and you want to let us know that you're still here. Give me a number 2 in the chat. All right, Peter, we're going to look at your other book here. And we're going to...
Let's see what this is about.
Let's see what this is about. This one is called... You could actually tell us the name of this book, because some words I don't use.
Yes.
Go for it.
God did not make niggers.
All right. And what is this book about?
Well, that's one poem.
Oh.
Very long poem.
Wow.
And in fact, that poem was submitted to the Guinness Book of World Record, and they dismissed it because of the title.
Oh.
So
wow.
On the see, and this is a progression. This book also was, I've studied a lot of different movements and religions and things like this. And I found in one of my studies that we tend to forget who we are as Black people. I don't know if any of you has any white audience on your show right now, but I'm speaking for myself. So no one, this is on my own terms, not on Melissa's terms. You don't have to believe. I'm not telling anyone to believe me, and I'm not trying to force anything on anyone. But I found myself in quagmires where, you know, I've touched so many different um, demographics and interesting groups of people and been to different places and realized that as a Black person, no matter where I go, it's the same thing. It never changed. Now, this was when I wasn't as much in tune with I was in tune with the inner self, understanding that I am a part of the original person. I just to keep it on an understandable level, right? Human, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we find that we are running around. The word niggers became this thing where it was placed upon Africans, Black people, things like that. And some people actually think that they are niggers. But the thing about it, when you look at it, if you come from a certain demographic of religion, if you're a Christian, if you really think about it, as a Christian, you would think God created man, woman in his own image. God did not make a nigger. So where did it come from? And who started this? And that's what this book kind of addressing the person not the person, but the group who actually started it, saying to address them, to make them realize, listen, it's time now you understand that God did not make niggers.
Now,
So that's where that poem came from. And actually I got a lot of slack for it. Lots and lots and lots and lots. But you know what? What they have to say has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So I left it right there and I kept it moving.
Kept it moving.
Yeah.
Do you have that book handy?
Which one?
The book that we're talking about?
No.
Okay. Do you?
You know, when I put out these things, I don't really promote them,
Okay.
I just put it out so
You just
people
put it
can
out.
read. I really don't care about the money that comes from it. I don't try to, I don't try to push it. As a matter of fact, I even called my friend from Shacks the other day and asked her, and said, you want this book, you can have it and take all the money from it, because I really don't care.
What about the reason why I asked the question was because do you remember anything of it to recite any of it that's that's not too controversial?
Yeah, let me
Or
see.
you want to pull it up? And while we're waiting for that, you guys, thanks for acknowledging that you're still with me. Welcome back again, Edward Smart and Tina Azell, as well as baby girl Marsha and Jillian Harper. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, everybody who's still tuned in. We're going to be here for just another 45 minutes. And if you could just give me a number 2 in the chat if you're still with us tonight. We're going to talk about something that's a little bit more controversial, a little bit more interesting. Let's mix it up a little bit.
There's an audiobook on YouTube with it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's an audio of it, I think, when I was just reading it in front of a microphone.
Okay, all right.
It's kind of the most controversial part of the poem, though, is when I kept saying, don't you know that I'm your father? and that's where I got into a lot of slack with people of different races,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, and stuff like that.
I have to listen to that.
No, when I keep saying and I keep saying I am not here to judge you by your your um your race, color, whatever. I'm here to talk about your conscious behavior,
Mm,
right? And it actually goes down in how they would brand people. It's a very long poem. It takes 23 minutes just to listen to it,
mm,
right?
mm.
We talk about how when they showed up, when was it John Hawkins showed up on the shores in 1555 in a ship called Jesus on the shores of Africa,
Wow.
and take these people, and they actually, how they treated these people on these ships, cutting out the babies out of women's stomach, doing all kind of stuff, so it's I'm not there to judge anyone by color and anything like that. I'm here to talk about the conscious behavior
Mm,
of why you created a nigger.
mm,
You understand? So
mm-hmm.
that's what that poem is about. However, again, I'm not telling anyone to read it and believe anything I'm saying, or you have anything to do. You have nothing to do with this poem. I just want to say that.
Right.
And just read it, listen to it, take it how you take it. It doesn't matter to me how you take it. What I'm here to do is take information and put it out
And to
there,
share it.
and you can read it and make a decision if you've got something out of it or not. At that point, no, you dump it. At that point, take it, you run with it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. You just got it
Yeah,
out of you got it out of your system and you put it out into the world.
absolutely.
Okay. And this is the one of the reasons why you're on the show today, because I think I've known you through people profile,
Yeah,
um, possibly maybe before that a little bit. I'm not sure, but certainly people profile was where I got to know you more, and there was just something about you that I was just curious about. There was just maybe it's the energy that you put off, and I was just curious about who is this Peter Gracey, and so far we've discovered that you're quite multifaceted, and so you haven't disappointed at all so far on this show. I just got to tell you that, so it's going good. All right, let's get into something else. And again, if you're just joining us tonight, this is Peter Gracey. He's a poet. He's involved in charity scholarships. He's an author. He's an ex-military person. You mentioned that you was in the reserves, right?
yeah,
As well as an IT brain. So if you've got if you've worked in IT, you're all right with me, because I'm an IT person myself. I don't know if you know that, but we have that in common. I'm in IT as well. Okay, so when I put the when I put the information out, I had one person say, "Oh, I'm not going to listen to this show because you're a Freemason." And I'm like, "Well, what do you know about Freemasons?" And he says something about Freemasons were all over Jamaica or something or other. I don't know about this, but I'm a person, I'm open minded, and I wanted to talk to you about the fact that you're a Freemason. And I've never met a Freemason before, as much as I know. Maybe I have, and I just don't know. But you mentioned that you're a Freemason. Could you tell us what is a Freemason and how you first got involved with Freemasonry, if that's the proper terminology?
what is a Freemason? A
Yes.
Mason, first of all, is a Mason is pretty much as a brother, you and me. A lot of people hear about Masons on TV shows and on these secret society things and all that, and they make a decision without educating themselves. how easy it is for you to take information from a screen on a TV and believe it.
Mm.
You know, how simple people are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I found myself being that simple. I found myself being a simpleton at some point, saying, I am not going to get in this because these people are evil. But who caused me to make that decision?
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I found myself living in slavery. Because if somebody on the outside can cause you to make a decision, they're controlling you.
Right, right. Yep.
If you have to watch something and you make a decision based on what that person told you,
One person.
you are in control of everything that comes out of you. You sometimes you can control the little things on the outside, but not all the time. But anything that comes from inside of you, whether it's habits, whether it's smoking, whether it's anything,
Mm.
you
You
have
have
the
control.
ability to control that 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to get all these things out of my head, and I
Mm.
had realized that I had to unlearn a lot of things. You know, I had to unlearn and say, I'm going to go here with an open mind and
Mm-hmm.
see what this is all about. And yes, I went I joined the lodge, and I realized a mason is just here to take good men and make them better.
Mm. Okay.
You know, by showing them certain things. You know, not by killing people and sacrificing them and all kind of things. People do that everywhere you go, not only in certain cultures, but also in certain religions. You know, it happens all over the place.
Mm.
But
Right.
I've never experienced that before.
Oh, okay.
And that's again, as I said to you, I'm here to experience life.
Yeah.
So I go
Everything.
into yeah, I go in here now to see what it's about.
Okay. So
And with
when did you become a Mason?
um I think about 2011,
2011.
somewhere around there.
And I know that you study a lot. Was it in pursuit of your studies that you discovered the Masons, or how did you discover it and decide, you know what, I'm going to become it?
Well, very good question. I've seen where there were people out in the communities saying bad things about Masons, and I've said terrible things about Masons. And my son godfather was a Mason, and then he left it and he became a Christian. He says he's not doing it anymore. It's not right. Da, 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 da. And I said, okay, well, you can tell me what you want to tell me, but I have to experience it myself
Mm-hmm.
to know if what you're saying is true or not. You know, so I went ahead and I spoke to a few brothers. Um, there's a few brothers in South Florida that I spoke to, and they invited me to lodge. You know, one of my brothers, Hendrix Garth. You
Oh,
know,
okay, okay.
yeah. So Garth is the one who actually said, "Hey, try that lodge up there because you want to go to that lodge because down here these guys, you know, the meetings are probably a little bit different from where you are and all that." So I went up there, and I joined the lodge, and I found myself as a Mason in 1 year between audiobooks. And no, let me say this before I even say that, is that a lot of people you would see wear a ring saying they're Masons, and they are.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, it's like 1%,
Mm.
sorry, something like between 2 to 5% of
Mm-hmm.
people actually dive deep to see what this thing is really about. And I want to know what it's about, so I dive as deep as I can go.
Mm.
You know, and what I found is that you are exposed to certain knowledge by way of reading,
Mm-hmm.
by way of just fellow, eating with brothers, talking to them, seeing how they act. They recommend certain type of literature. They show you some type of things, either what's in the Bible, because the main basis and the main guide of Freemasonry is a Bible.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so Masonry does not focus on religion, though. or as long as you believe in a deity, and as long as you're a man of good standing in your community, because they run a background check on everybody.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people would say the Mason is this and the Mason that, but look at it this way. Look at the Shriners Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if your child has severe burns and things like that, or even if they have cancer or whatever, we are the ones who pick up these children in vans and take them to the Shriners Hospital where our dues pay for their
Oh,
surgeries.
really?
Yes, the Shriners Hospital, if you don't have insurance, you know what they're gonna say? Come. You don't need insurance. If you have it, we'll take it. But if you don't need it, we'll cover the charges for you.
Is that just for children, or is that for people in general?
It's more geared around children.
Okay,
Right. So
interesting.
what you hear on TV and what you read in these books and what you whatever, you have to decide how you want to compute that in your mind. So what I do, I go in there and I found the good things that I need to deal with. Because for everything you're exposed to, you can make a decision. You can use it to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it towards people, you know, or you can do it. You can do you just like you have this program, right? You can have this conversation, or you can put on Weddy Wednesdays or whatever, and bring some dance thing and thing, all them thing. You have the decision to do what you want to do with it.
Right,
And
right.
I've decided to take it to the higher self and try to tap into who I really am before I depart this place.
You know, this was actually one of the things that really interested me in who you are, because, like I said, I've never met a Mason. I want to know, what does a Mason do? What, you know, why would you become a Mason? We have a question actually right here. Um, is it only for men?
Masonry is only from Freemasonry is only for men. Now there are other appendant. There are other bodies like the Eastern Star, Job's Daughter, stuff like that. That the affiliation of the men, the women can belong to those,
Oh,
which they participate also in helping out with the lodge and have their own meetings and things like that. You know, but if you look at it, uh, you have you have the what's the group, the small group, the younger guys that when you're going into the military, they will you can be a cadet in
yeah,
school.
yeah. The younger ones, yeah.
Right now they in all over the place they have the younger masons.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember their name, but even Obama was one, as a
Okay.
youngster, but he
Uh huh.
didn't join a lodge.
Right, right.
So the thing is it's what you take with your information and do with it.
Okay, so you mentioned one really, really great thing that the Masons are doing with Shriner Hospital. They take children if they can't afford to pay the bill. The parents can't afford to pay their children's bills. They'll take them. What else? What other benefits or great things are characteristics of Masons?
Well, here's the thing. When you find and when you connect with a true brother, that brother actually becomes your brother in your walk, in your experience. And as long as we have a thing they call a cable tow, it's like a rope
Mm-hmm.
goes this far. And as long as I can help a brother and his family within the length of my cable tow,
Mm.
without violating the rights of others or myself, then I'll always be there for that brother, regardless of what time of the night it is.
Mm.
Because people need people, and we are so distant away from ourselves, from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find a brotherhood, it's just like you may have a group of girls that you might go out to the club with, and you might talk to them and tell them certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But still, can you really trust them? Even though I don't trust anybody to a certain point, can you really trust them? This is where masonry comes in. I can trust you as a brother. to say this to you. Now, don't get me wrong, not every brother you can tell certain things to, because people are people, right? But I have been in situation where midnight someone called me up and said, brother, I'm going through something, I need to talk. And they would have hurt themselves. But they can't tell anyone else, because they're afraid that they may look at you at a certain way.
Right.
The Masons, we don't look at titles. Right? We were taught that there's no, we're taught that apron that we wear, it's the lambskin.
Okay.
That you hear your Bible talks about.
Uh-huh.
Right? That lambskin is so pure, it removes all titles from you, removes the ego. There's no title that any king, queen, or potentate can place upon you that's more important than the pureness. So what it does, it gives you a sense of freeness. You understand? Now remember, Freemasons is actually it's really another form of we're speculative Masons, but we take the same rules when it comes to stonemasons. You take that corner, that little piece of stone that the builder rejected, and we polish it as a mason with cement, and make it into the cornerstone that holds up everyone else, right? So there's different degrees of masonry. You have the apprentice who doesn't know anything, and he's like the laborer, and he has to do the thing, right?
Okay.
And then you have after then, that's the first degree of masonry that you go through, right? Then which is the entered apprentice. It's an entered apprentice, right? And you go up 3 degrees until you get to your master mason. Now, a master mason can take that stone without the help of others and polish it and let that stone become that cornerstone that holds up his family, that holds up his walk outside of life. We're helping him to hold his hand while he's going. That's the principles of where this comes from. The thing about it, though, you would find that we may go places and we might get in trouble for certain things, and another brother Mason is there and we might get out of certain things, or you know what I'm saying? And it's not an insurance policy, but we find that if we come in the midst of brothers, they would, don't do that again. You know better. Right? But everyone has that type of a person.
Yeah.
Because if you are married, your husband might do the same thing to you. And what goes on in your bedroom is your private business. Now, are you a secret society? No. What goes on in the lodge room is our private business also. Are we a secret society? No. But we're a society with secrets, just like how you have a family with your own secrets with people you can trust. It's the same type of, it's just that this is a brotherhood of men. So we're a brotherhood of men under the fatherhood of the great architect of the universe, the one that created all of this.
All right. So it's interesting that you talked about the secrecy of it, because I was going to ask you.
It's really not secrecy.
No. But that was something that I was going to ask you, as far as why do people think that there is there are secrets and there's certain rituals that go on within the Freemasons that we don't know about. Can you just talk about that and why people have this, I don't know, preconceived notion, or maybe it's something that they've heard before, that there's secret stuff going on in Freemason?
Well, there's secret stuff that goes on everywhere, like I tell you before. There's stuff that you do in your household. Are you going to go out and tell anyone? And if you hear your husband talk about something that you guys did last night, what would you do? You thought you could trust him. And that trust is now gone. You have to be with somebody who you know that no matter what, they have your back. You understand? Everyone in every situation has that person. It's just that we try to make it bigger. We try to have more of these people around.
Let me ask you this then. Let's say somebody that was in your lodge went out and actually spoke about something that was going on, something that was private, what would happen to that person? Would they get kicked out of the lodge,
It depends.
or would there be some kind of disciplinary
Yeah,
action? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like again, if your husband go out and say something and him come home and you hear about it, the first thing you might do is just box him down and say, boss, it's weird. Am I wrong or right?
There'd be consequences.
Exactly. That's what
Understood.
yeah,
So now I know certainly when I first heard about Masons and Freemasons, there was some sort of fear. I had some sort of fear about it. I didn't know what it was. But I was scared for some reason. Why is it that people are scared or are prejudiced even against Freemasons?
because they don't understand. Again, they have been sold information that they take and they run with it. And in this life, what I've realized in this experience, you have to free yourself. You have to free your mind. Because the most potent weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. So therefore, you have to free your mind. You have to let go of everything that you thought that you knew, and then God bring it back together. Bring it back together. Cut the fat off it and make it lean. You know, bring it back together, and then decide where you go from there. But if you keep running with the same, with a lot of, not all, I'm just saying not you, but not
Yeah.
necessarily anyone in this watching or anything.
Right.
But if we keep running with the same ideology, in the end, we're going to find ourselves in the hospital. Because what's going to happen is this: we're going to have information garbage overload. We're going to be on social media every day, believing everything that we read. We're going to find ourselves supporting one party, supporting the next party. You're going to find yourself doing all kind of things that you're not supposed to do. If you listen to things like Malcolm X, the ballot or the bullet, you'll understand what he's saying about things like when we're divided, it's never a good thing when you're divided. And then especially when you're being controlled by media, it's never a good thing. So what I have to do is, I don't claim any side of anything. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Laborite, I'm not a socialist. I am me.
You're a Freemason.
To be honest with you, I don't even, I'm a part of the group. But at the end, I am that. I am.
Well, that's not everything that you are. That's not, or is it?
Well, I am
Because
that.
like when I introduced you in the text, I said author, producer, Freemason. So
I am,
you're
no.
all of those things.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
but you're not only a Freemason. You're
but
other things too.
again, what we talked about earlier is the balance.
Yeah.
You have to know externally what you claim yourself to attach yourself to, and then you have to know internally that you are just that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, if you're still with me, give me a number 3. I don't know if people are just so mesmerized that they can't put anything in the chats. If you have any questions for Peter, let us have them, or any thoughts. That's fine too. Are you guys still with us? It looks like we still have quite a few people. So just let me know if you're still with us. Drop me a number 2 or a 3, or just put something in there. All right. One other question on this topic before we move on to the next topic. What level? You mentioned that you have apprentice and there's different levels that you go up to. What level are you at? And because I think you might have mentioned somewhere that that they refer to you as honorable. Is this true? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the honorable mentions, I should have bring some documents with me so I can just put it out there and say, You know, because a lot of people like, he's this and he's that. Well, you don't hear me going around call myself the honorable. You know, a lot of people love go around and say, look at this. And I'm not using religion for anything. A lot of people claim to be, or like using the term, these little things behind their names, or they can say if you remove the doctor from some people, they can't function anymore because they're afraid that that title will demean everything that they have done in life. You have people who say they're apostles, they're ministers, they're evangelists, they're this. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. I applaud you. You know why? Because you find something that you're doing. The thing about it is, um, in the lodge, I went from different areas, lodge to lodge, and I did some things called the good of the order, and where I would lecture young Masons.
Okay.
And it came to a point that I didn't even need a book anymore. And I didn't even need to write, make notes. I would go in the lodge and they would say, Brother Gracey, you have the good of the order. And I'm like, yeah. And I would go in there and I would just say, ask me any question.
Wow.
And once they ask you, the information just start running.
Wow.
So it came to that point where it was conferred upon me in a certain degree. And the honorable title was conferred upon me, and I gladly accepted it. Because the reason why you have to accept these things a lot of times, the simple reason why you have to accept these things, not because you want the title, is because if you follow certain things like Kabbalah, right? It's not when you get something you're supposed to feel satisfied. It's when you give somebody something and they accept it.
Mm.
You understand? So you're actually making the next person feel satisfied also because you accepted it. And there's no tactic to it. You know? So therefore, they conferred upon me the honorable title and I accepted it. Mm-hmm. Now, some places I go and will use a term because what would happen is this. Some people will connect with me. Mm-hmm. You know, and so I want those brothers to connect with me by not saying, hey, come on over here if you're from this lodge. No, all I have to do is use certain term and they'll connect to me because they know how to connect. Mm-hmm. So yes, the honorable, I've used it, and to me, it's really more interesting than a person who's just a regular civil servant, just telling people what to do with their lives, and involved in corruption and say they're the honorable, because this has to do with beyond the ego. This has nothing to do with the ego. It has nothing to do with you.
Got you.
Physically. It has to do with esoteric, the mental state of how you approach things. It's a honorable state when you can find that enlightenment and confer messages onto people that they would have never gotten in the first place. Because when you're teaching, you have to tell people things they never knew. Or else you're not teaching anybody anything. You understand?
True.
Exactly. So when you can get to that point now, this is when that happened, you know, and that was a highlight, and that experience is a great experience in life. And when I see the honorable, guess what? It reminds me of how I got there.
When did you become the honorable?
I don't even remember.
I mean, was it like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? I mean, was it a long time ago?
It was probably about, I would probably say about 8 years ago.
Okay. Just wanted to sort of get some kind of context.
People start hearing about it after People Profile.
Okay.
Or during that time, you know? Because I had some brothers coming and, you know, I had to say, listen, I'm involved with this, no one would show up, and I put out, boom, and they all showed up.
Wow. So it lends some weight, obviously.
Yes, yes.
Um, Greetings, Coach Mary Ma, and Happy New Year to you. Interesting to hear from an insider, she says. And again, Happy New Year. Congrats for always bringing in these difficult but necessary conversations. We're just basically scratching the surface to what masonry is, as for what a Freemason is. This is Peter Gracey. He's many things. One of them being is a Freemason, and he's not afraid to talk freely. Where does the free part of Freemason come from? Do you know?
Well, yes. So in the down in this, I think it's the 17th century, Masons were, we had to move around. We had to travel. That's where it becomes, we're traveling men,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And we had to travel. So what would happen is, um, we would have information that another group of Masons would have. And back in those days, Masons were were gatekeepers for a lot of things,
mm,
because they're the one who could hold secrets.
mm,
Brothers could trust brother. Now look at it this way. Let me ask you this question, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you are, if you started the Millissa Jayne team and your thing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, wouldn't you put someone from your team to run every committee? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah.
committee, a director or something, yes?
Right. Somebody from
So
within. Yeah.
someone from within. It's the
Mm-hmm,
same principle,
mm-hmm.
right? The Masonry, the Freemasonry movement was started, and so every great endeavor, because people knew that these guys, they could hold secrets. They're not going to share anything. They invited them in to run these things. So when you hear them say it's run by the Masons, because they don't want nobody to know them business, right? And so what happened is, as traveling men, I could come to you and identify myself, and you open the gates and I'm gone. So we're able to move around freely.
Okay,
Understand?
I understand now. I understand now.
Also, with the thinking, the patterns of thinking of free thinkers.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah,
You understand? You understand what I'm saying? So there's a
yep.
combination of, I'm not going to, the reason why we're free thinkers is, but I'm not going to judge you and you're not going to judge me for
Mm,
anything
mm,
as we keep moving.
mm-hmm,
Even if you practice this religion or that, I'm not here to judge you.
mm-hmm,
I'm here to say, brother, I'm here. You need support? No.
mm.
Okay, no problem. Keep it moving.
Also, you studied. You said you studied a lot. You studied many religions. Is that correct? You just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, quite a few. I did it. I studied Christianity. As a matter of fact, I actually at some point in my life did some form of youth ministry, and
Some form of what?
sometime in my life I did some form of youth ministry.
Oh, youth ministry.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also I got involved in like the Nation of Islam at some point.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, so Christianity, the Nation of Islam.
Uh huh.
I got involved with Kabbalah.
Okay.
I got involved with astrotheology. You know,
Astrotheology.
yes. I studied some. I got down in the touch on the Buddhism.
Okay.
I did a few of the yin and yang stuff, and I actually studied certain things that, um, with teachings of certain gurus and things like that. So I've been down the road.
You've been down the
It's
road.
just that you don't go out and you advertise these things. It's nothing to advertise.
Right. No, I mean, I think I might have asked you. Was this when you before you became a Mason?
Mhm.
Had you already studied all of these different religions, or was it a part of your Mason journey?
The I started studying. I already did the whole Christianity thing.
Uh
I
huh.
grew up in that. Um, Kabbalah, I started on my own before I got into Masonry. And then when I got into Masonry, I saw that Masonry it also referred to Kabbalah in some way. So I was ahead of the game.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Oh,
some
okay.
some astrotheology, which is Astrotheology specifically applied to a religious system based on the observations of the heavens, you know, to understand the ages that we move around in and things like that, you know, to even understand when the three wise men look at the stars, you know, and know the meaning of those things, you know, those allegories and things like that. In Kabbalah is just an ancient Jewish tradition of mystical interpretation of the Bible. So when you hear people talk about these things, they say, yeah, man, you must study this, my evil. Well, that's a decision you made.
All right. Well, let's take a little. It's a 1 minute explanation of Kabbalah. You mentioned Kabbalah a couple of times, and of course I had to look it up. Let's just listen to somebody talking about what Kabbalah is.
Okay.
Kabbalah, the word Kabbalah means to receive. In order to be able to receive, you have to empty yourself of your ego and your interests. So though a byproduct of that is becoming the best you can be, but the number one condition is to become a recipient, to become a channel. And that opens up many channels of blessings. Unfortunately, in our self-help society, often the focus is, what's in it for me? And that itself undermines the real ability to discover your own inner soul resources. When in truth, the way the Kabbalah teaches is that emptier you are of yourself, the more you become a conduit, a channel for blessings from above. The ultimate goal is really to be a servant and serve something greater than yourself. That's what brings real blessings in one's life. And that's the essence of Kabbalah, which means to receive from your teacher, to receive from God, and to be in a receptive mode, but you're able to absorb, be sensitive to the sounds, to the voices, to the concerns of others.
Now, I just wanted to. This is by Rabbi Simon Jacobson at Meaningful Life Center, and let me just take that away so we don't get any echo. And I just wanted to get a short description of what it is. Does that sound about right as far as your understanding of Kabbalah?
Yes, it's spot on, because Kabbalah is really one way to know it. You know how in Christianity, you know, they have over 360 different sects of Christianity.
Yeah.
Sects, S-E-C-T-S, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
In Kabbalah, it's one Kabbalah. There's no really a lot of different Kabbalias.
Right.
You know,
Right,
and
got
again,
you.
what he said, why I was interested in it is removing the ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you remove Millissa Jayne from you tonight, who are you? You understand?
Yeah.
Because for you, we all wear these masks, you know, and the ego is one of these masks. It's just hard to remove it sometimes.
Well, let me answer that question. How would I answer that question? You asked a really good question there. You made me think. Who, if I was to remove Millissa from who I am, who am I?
Exactly.
Who are you? Who are you?
You'll find out that I am that. I am. You would find out that you belong. Because see, the thing, Millissa, is what I've realized is, and I'm going to make this quick because I know you probably have something else. What I've realized that life is life, and life is. It runs, it keeps going, and it goes through us. We're not life. We're attached to it. It's not attached to us. Whether you're here or not, it goes on. It is as simple as that.
Right.
It is as simple as that. Whether you're here or not, you pop in it and you pop out and you're done. Right? There's a progression of how things work. You know? So the earth takes you, puts you out, so the earth takes you. Now, when you can remove the ego and understand these simple things, you conquer death. Because you know for a fact that you never asked to come here. You know for a fact that you didn't ask to come in this unorganized world. Right. With a lot of different egos, and you never asked to die.
Yeah.
Right? all these things happen with or without your involvement. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So therefore, once we remove the ego and understand who you are, don't those things don't even faze me. That's why I am ready. Whenever it comes, I welcome it. Because it's the next chapter of what this thing is about. Because I've never met anyone who has told me what it's about. So I'm excited. So therefore, I get to put all that aside, and I just live.
Okay. So I wanted to read what Laquita says. Kabbalah is balance, Mahat, reciprocity, I think it's.
There you go. There you
And
He knows what I'm talking about.
focusing on the I am self.
There you go.
Um,
That's what it is.
Laquita is very smart on many things. She's going to be on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 11:15 a.m. in the morning. She does her show. So many great topics. So much great
I'm going to
knowledge.
check out her show. If you send me a link, I'll definitely log on and check her out.
Definitely. Okay, so I think we talked a lot about the Freemason portion of the show, which I'm very interested to inquire about this. Again, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show, because again, I've never met a Freemason before, and I just wanted to explore that a little bit. Hopefully you guys will also have learned something new, and maybe put away some of the prejudices that we may have had in the past. All right, we've got a short little bit time left to just talk about one more thing, and that is the Jamaica diaspora. I know that you're involved in the Jamaican diaspora in a couple of different ways. I think you're part of Jamaica Men of
all
Jamaican
kind
Men.
of things.
Huh?
All kind of things.
All kind of things. So specifically, can you talk about what you're involved with that is significant, especially for the next, what is it, the next month for the voting and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, there's an election going on for the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative.
Explain what that is first before we talk about the voting portion.
Well, the Global Jamaica Diaspora, the global, let me say, the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council was developed to create a deeper engagement between the diaspora and Jamaica.
Okay.
And so therefore, the representatives that are scattered all over the United States, which is three regions, which is the South, the Northeast, and the West Midwest, will be the voice of all Jamaicans to engage their voice and make recommendations to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, so we can again deepen the engagement.
All right. Now, why are you let's say putting your hat in the game to be the representative? Why you?
Well, that's a good question. What I've recognized is that most of the things that I've been involved with has been geared around older people. And sometimes we wonder why we're in so much mess. It's because we're leaving out the core group, our children. Our children. It always boiled back to me, back to the children of Jamaica. The thing is, yes, we can go deep in the engagement. We can be the voice of the people back to the ministry. We can make recommendations. We cannot do all that. But I've already started movements that involve our children who are going to sit here and replace us in the next 10, 15 years. Because most of us are going to die out. And then who is going to run this? Them. So what I want to do is put in my piece of the puzzle and bring these kids up through a cognitive, early childhood education on the cognitive level, so they can understand who they truly are as Jamaicans. Because we've came here and adopted a lot of dirty habits as Jamaicans. Let me give you an example. just like how we were talking about earlier, I did not experience a lot of racism in Jamaica. I came here and this is where it became broad, right? And I realized what Marcus Garvey was dealing with, and these things. So we have to now use what we've understood and educate some of these kids before they even come here so they can have so they can prepare themselves better. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Prepare them, give them a foundation to stand on, because all of us came here in a dream. And if it's not your dream, it's your parents' dream or their grandparents' dream. But what we didn't come here with is a strategic plan. So now what we have to do is create a strategic plan, come together as a diaspora, and make sure that everyone here who come here on a dream, we can actually use our historicals. We can actually use our experience to say, this is how things should work. Fix Jamaica. Let Jamaica keep flourishing and grow. So that Jamaica will be the choice to live, the choice place to live, to work, to go home for entertainment. Because we have to always remember who we are.
Okay. So that is one element, and of course that's a very, very important one, because it all starts with the children. The children are the future. The children are the ones who are going to run things. Once our age group get older and not interested in doing too much. But what about other programs that you might be involved with? I mean, I know that I've sat in on a couple of meetings where people have talked about what they would like to do. What else would you like to do, or what else is needed within the Jamaica diaspora?
There's quite a few things that are needed, and I was just trying to summarize things because of time, but but there's quite a few other things that are needed in our diaspora. We need to create a system where there's a centralized area. Dr. Cunningham tried to do it with JDIAS, the Jamaica Diaspora for the Southern United States. That's a total different entity from the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, right? And he attempted to do it with JDIAS. It worked to a point, but we did not expect it to work 100% because he was the first representative. And so we have to keep growing. We have to take it and keep molding it. Nothing works out the first time, just like that, And so we have to I have to go in, or whosoever becomes the next representative, I have to go in and take that mantle up and make sure that we pick up from where he left off, because he did a tremendous job in the diaspora engaging people. If you see what happened with the whole excitement of when he came in motorcades, this, that, right? That's true engagement.
Yeah.
The next step now is to take that to Orlando. The next step is to take that to Jacksonville, to take that to Houston, to take that to Charlotte, to take all these places.
How many different states are in the southern region? Is that right? It's like 13. Is that
13.
Right? 13.
Yes.
And you want to sort of replicate the good things that Dr. Cunningham has started right here in South Florida to the other areas, right?
As far as being a representative, because I'm sure there's a lot of good things going on everywhere.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's to make people aware that, hey, you are a part of the diaspora. Because there's a lot of times you go out there and you say, we're running, in my experience, I'm running for the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative. They're like, what's a diaspora? What is
exactly. So there has to be, education has to be a big part of it.
It has to be a big part.
Obviously, technology is going to pull it all together. Is there somebody, or is this part of your plan to really engage technology, since you're an IT guy?
Well, I've been a lot of things in IT. My last IT role was a project manager for cloud solutions for Florida Power and Light.
Okay.
And we had to move like physical data centers into the cloud and bring them to a secure place where natural disasters can't affect it.
Everything is going to the cloud.
Right. So with that thing, if you really look at it, that applies to human beings too. We have to find ourselves in a secure place and use technology to bring in a cloud-based solution to bring the information to people. And I understand how that works. Because let me tell you this, when I was doing people profile, I used to say to Dr. Cunningham, listen, go out there and make this work. Anything happen, blame it on me. Because I want to see it work. I don't want anybody to take his name and scandal it. You understand? Because recognize it, ordinary people in the community doing extraordinary things. It goes in line with what I have been, how I've been thinking, how I've been growing. And therefore, this diaspora comes right in line with everything I'm doing. Let me tell you something. You see, when you find who you are, you always end up in the right place at the right time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's no coincidence, because if you have that belief of I don't know who is in the room, if there's a Muslim or anyone. That's why I try to say it like this. But coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
So
I like
therefore, right. So therefore, there's no coincidence. So when I ended up in that position, Dr. Cunningham called me and said, yo, I'm going to start this thing near people profile. I said, I am there with you. Because I've known him for over 38 years.
Yeah.
You understand? And we've been doing a lot of things together way before this.
Yeah.
It's just that this was aligned with what we're doing, right place at the right time. So we had to take it and run. And there came Jamaica Men of Florida. There came Jedias. I started a thing called the Gracey Academy for Critical Thinking. That went on, where we teach kids to do this freely. We teach kids to write, we teach kids math, we teach them music, all of this stuff, because these are vital things, and all these things just align itself. This is Jamaica aligned itself. We're sitting here tonight talking. It's not a coincidence.
Yes.
So with Millissa, with this type of mindset, anything you set out to do, you'll do it.
Yeah.
Everything will work. Trust me. Let me not say trust me, but once you have this mindset, everything will work without you even putting up. You know what the gentleman said in the chat?
Which one?
Everything, when you're expert at everything just happens freely.
Oh.
Once you get into that mindset and you understand who you are and know what this is, let me explain something. No matter what you touch, it works. And so I am there, but you have to be careful what you touch, because it might lead you down some road you don't want to go down to.
Good point.
Yeah.
Greetings, Lascious Journey. Good to have you here. Happy New Year to you as well. She is also a phenomenal Jamaican lady in Florida, a different time zone, Florida, but she's also quite amazing. My stream is buffering, but it's on me, no problem. Yes, taking I'm here taking notes. So let's just wrap up the diaspora portion. How can people get involved? How can people get involved in this diaspora program?
There's quite a few ways. Diaspora is really not a program. Let me make this clear. If you're a Jamaican, okay, and you find yourself outside of Jamaica, living and working outside of Jamaica, you are a part of the diaspora. You make that up. It's really not a program. If you are the son or a daughter of a Jamaican who was born anywhere else in the world, that Jamaican heritage makes you a part of the Jamaican diaspora. What the Ministry of Foreign Affairs attempt to do here is to formalize something, because people are so scattered doing so many different things, not knowing that if we just come together and engage, we can understand each other more, we can support each other more. You want to do business in Jamaica, you want to do this, we can start guiding each other. So this is what the engagement is about. Bringing people together to understand, listen, I know we're all doing our things, but let's build Jamaica and let Jamaica help to build us as Jamaicans. So it's really not a program. It's really knowing that you belong to the Jamaican diaspora, and we come together and we make sure that our little island is good, and
How
we
can
make sure we
how
make
can people get involved with what you're doing?
email me, petergracey@gmail.com.
All right, petergracey@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Is there a website, or is there anything like that, or is it just to contact you
If they
directly?
want, if they want to know about the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, they can go to that website, and they can go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade website, which is mfaft.gov.jm, and they can go there and they can click on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council link, and they can read all about what it's about and how to get involved if they want to be on elect committees and things like that. It's available.
Yeah. What was the first one you told me? What was the first one?
The website,
Yeah.
it's MFAFT, which is the
M F
Ministry
A F
FT,
T
Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
M F A F T
.gov.jm.
dot gov. Dot J. Okay. Oh, mfaft.gov. It's not secure.
It's fine. It's because you're going to a government site from the US. It's
Oh, okay.
just stuff
Okay.
like that.
All right. All right. I'm not gonna bother with that. Let me just give you the URL. I was gonna try to go to it, but I was gonna drop the URL in the chat. So people like I mentioned, if you want to get involved, if you want to be a part of the Jamaican diaspora, um, if you're any descendant of Jamaican, you're automatically a part of them. But if you want to be actively involved and get involved with the voting, then you can go to that website, and I'm sure you'll find the information there, right?
Yes.
Okay, it'll lead you there. Do you have any plea that you would like to make? Any uh, plug or anything?
No, well, I don't have any plugs for the diaspora thing. I don't want anybody to vote for me because me and them are friend and things like that. I want you to, whosoever you're gonna support, you support them because you're doing it truly from your heart. And you're doing it for the right reasons. It's not, don't vote for me because you're my friend, or oh, I'm going to vote for you, you're a cool guy. No, vote for who you think in your own terms will make this better.
Okay.
Will carry out the work you're supposed to carry out. As far as plugs, yeah, my book is available on Amazon. You can go copy it.
Oh,
What one thing I like to see is there's a lot of people now reading my poems and posting them all over the place. And if you come to my Facebook site, which is Facebook Peter Gracey Poet, um, PETERGRACEYPOET Poet, you can come there and you can check out some of the poems and some of the crazy stuff that I talk about. Um, Also, if you say any of the poems that you want to do and just say it and send it to me, I'll post it and blast it out, and probably get you some recognition. Yeah, I like doing stuff like that because it empowers people.
so it's
You know,
Peter Gracey Poet.
yes,
Peter Gracey Poet. I
yeah,
know I know I was on your other page. Okay, this is it.
right. Um, on YouTube, it's Peter Gracey. On Instagram, it's Peter Gracey Poet.
Um, so on YouTube, do you post to Jamaicans.com as well as Peter Gracey,
No,
or
I am on Jamaicans.com every Tuesday.
uh-huh.
Doing poetry, and Jamaicans.com publish those every Tuesday.
Okay, but you also have your own YouTube channel as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't see your
I have
own.
to support. I have to support Jamaicans.com. They're doing a phenomenal job.
I know, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find you on just the YouTube generally, but I just found you on um, Jamaicans.com. All
Okay.
right, so Lasha says she'll definitely check out the book. It's further up in the chat. I dropped a link to 3 books. Absolutely, you have us cheering you up. Yes, so Lasha, she's a Jamaican. She's a real estate person. I think she's got
I'm a
$1 million
real
worth.
estate person too, you know.
I
Nice
think
meeting you.
I think she's got $1 million of real estate, and she's now starting a new job. So a new business, I should say, business, and make that clear, it's a business, not a job. She's
I wonder
independent.
she let her know if she wants to become our title sponsor. We have one already, but if she comes better, we'll take her for the poetry scholarship. It's not much. It's like $3,000.
Yeah.
But she
So
can come in and we can make her title sponsor and enjoy the festivities of the children. I'm just
yes,
plugging. I'm just plugging.
I know, right? So definitely, Luscious, go watch the video from earlier on. You'll see some really really cool stuff that Peter Grace has done, his poems, and how he's working with children in Jamaica as well. All right. So with that said, I would love to have you back again, maybe later on in the year, because still we didn't really talk too much about people profile. I'd like to get a little bit more into that. So maybe when before the next award show, maybe we can get you back to talk a little bit about it then. But we scratched the surface on quite a lot of topics. Peter Gracey, have you ever had anybody interview you, or have you ever done anything like this and talk in depth about all the different things that you do?
Not all of the different things. Yeah, we touched a little bit here, a little bit of that. But I used to be on a radio program, and you know her. You remember? She's from England. You remember I connected you with this girl a long time ago? Imani Speaks.
Oh, did you connect me with her?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Wow, I know. I know somebody connected me with her. Was that
Yeah,
you?
that was me way back in the days. Yeah.
Wow. Yes, man. She's so cool.
Yeah, so she used to have a really nice radio show, and I used to be on her show like every week and so.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, so it went great, and we spoke on a lot of things, really deep stuff,
Okay.
and yeah, and I've been in. We have one of our Rastafarian friend Rasmanga. He's always live. Sometimes I go on his shows and
Okay.
things like that. So yeah, I've been around the block quite a few times, but as far as spending 2.5 hours with someone sitting down just talking about everything under the sun, not really.
Well, I'm glad that you made yourself available to me for us to do this. I feel very honored. And again, this is the Millissa Jayne Show. It's the first show of 2023, and I've been honored to have the honorable Peter Gracey on my show.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much, Peter. We should talk.
Yes.
All right, take care.
Bye
Catch you
bye.
later. All right, guys, that's the show. We're not gonna go any longer than this. I've had a great time tonight with Peter Gracey, a man of many talents, a man of many skills, and just very very interesting. You know, he's a Freemason. He let us know a little bit about that, as well as his poems, his poetry contest in Jamaica, people profile. What else? His military involvement. We didn't even talk about him as a producer, but we're gonna have him back in some other time and continue talking. But for now, I bid you all good night. I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight on the Millissa Jayne Show. I'll be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Let me just remind you, at 7 p.m., we're going to have Toyin Adikali, who is an author as well. She's a recording artist, but we're going to be talking about her as an author. This is Thursday, the 5th of January at 7 p.m. This is going to be another exciting show. We're going to reveal some things, why she decided the topic that she's written about. She's got a book out right now, and some other things. So don't miss it. And remember, the show is now 2 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Where's the flyer for that? Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I appreciate you all for tuning in tonight. I know it kind of went late, but thank you so much. Great show, says Luscious Journey. Good night, says Luscious. And Mary, Coach Mary Mark, congrats, Millissa Jayne. I know 2023 will be an amazing year for you. Very proud of you. Thank you for your service. And thank you so much, Coach Mary Mark, for all of your continued support. And everybody else that tuned in. Blind Guy, his life, his wife, their life, and everybody else that tuned in. All right? I bid you good night. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I will see you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bye for now.